Hello everyone, in this problem I'm going to be looking at number 3 for explanations on our formative. So here we have a sky jumper jumping out of a plane, and they begin to increase speed towards the ground. So we know that their velocity is going downwards while the air rushes past them. So this might tell us something about a force here. So at the end of the day, how do the individual forces acting on the skydiver compare? All right. All right, so with this problem, it doesn't look like we're drawing an FBD, right? It's going to be a motion map. It's asking about relevant forces. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be talking about forces. Sorry about that. And then what do we know out of these variables, acceleration, net force, velocity, and the relevant forces? Is we know velocity, right? It tells us that the object is increasing speed or increasing velocity downwards. All right. So then I could draw a motion map of that, right? So let's draw my dot here. Maybe it moves this far after, let's say, 1 second. It's going downwards, so I'm going to draw an arrow here. But then it's going to increase speed. So which means as it goes downwards, the distance between my dots gets larger and larger, and my velocity vector, my arrow, is going to get larger and larger too. All right, so then I want to think, well, what would cause my velocity to increase speed? And remember, we're working backwards here. So normally we do our forces and we figure out what the velocity is. So if we work backwards here, well, acceleration determines velocity. So if I know my velocity, I can figure out my acceleration. So if I'm increasing velocity downwards, if I look at this motion map, it can maybe help me too. Acceleration has to be going in the same direction in order for an object to speed up. So I'm going to draw my acceleration vectors right next to it, and they're going to be also going in the same direction downwards. All right, so I'm increasing velocity downwards, so my acceleration is also going to be downwards too. All right. So then if acceleration is downwards, well, what does that mean next? Well, what causes acceleration? Net force. Net forces cause acceleration. So if my acceleration is down, then my F net is also going to be downwards. All right. So this gets to at least this part of the claim. All right, my net force is down. And then if my F net is downwards, what does that tell me about my individual forces? All right, between the force of gravity and the force of air resistance. Well, if net force is down, then that means that my force of gravity has to be bigger than the force of my air resistance. All right, so if F net is down, then my force of gravity is going to be larger than my force of air resistance in this case. So I could go up to the claim and circle that right here.